Hello everyone. I'm going to make a really simple little book cover. I am just using a piece of packaging, very thin cardboard, making a small book. So I don't need anything that's really sturdy. So a piece of packaging is going to be perfect for this. I have cut it 5 inches tall by 7.5 inches wide, and that will make a book that is 5 inches tall, 3.5 inches wide with a 1/2 inch spine. If you want your spine a little bit larger, just add a little bit more to the width. So I am just using a paper that I tested some stamps out on. I want it really neutral. It's just a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. If you do want to paint your paper, make a really nice cover, paint it before you put it on your cover. That's the time to do it. Let it dry. And then I have the inside piece of paper I have cut to be just inside you can see it better with the cardboard side, just slightly smaller than the cover. So this will go on the inside. I'm using matte medium for my glue with my glue brush. I have scissors, pencil, bone folder, and a metal ruler for this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare my cover. Now this is a cover that I probably won't open and close a lot. If you do want something just a little bit stronger, you'll probably want to do your cover in 3 pieces. I have another video for that. So this one is just really simple. I want my cover to be 3.5 inches wide, so I'm going to make a mark 3.5 inches here on the top and on the bottom. And another mark at 4 inches, and I should have done that while I was there. I am making my 1/2 inch spine. Okay, so I'm just going to take my metal ruler and my bone folder. I'm going to match up those 2 first dots that I made. Use the bone folder to score the cardboard. And before I move the ruler, I like to fold against the ruler. That makes my fold really straight, exactly where I want it. And then I fold it all the way down and use my bone folder to make sure it's really, really well creased. Okay, and then I'm going to do that with the next 2 lines. Same thing, line up the 2 marks that I made, score it with the bone folder a couple of times just to make sure it will fold on that crease, and fold it against the ruler, and then fold it really, really well and crease it. So this makes your cover. It's just a little tiny book, very small spine. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is take our outside piece of paper, and let me put it over, nice side down, and I am just going to cut the corners off, leaving about a 1/4 inch to the tip of the cardboard. I'm going to do that on all 4 corners. I don't measure this, I just take off that bit of paper. It just saves in bulk and makes your corners a little more square, a little easier to make them more square. Okay, so you end up with something like that. You don't need those corners. Okay, so we've got the nice side of our paper face down, and we have our cover so that it bends up. We want to put glue on that part. So I'm going to turn it over, put a little bit of matte medium down, and I work fairly quickly so that the glue does not dry, and I get a chance to get the whole paper down. I'm making sure that the glue is thinned out on the entire bit of cardboard. I've got the corners, I've got the spine well glued, and then I'm going to turn it over and place it on the paper before it dries, and make sure that I've got my 1/4 of an inch on all the corners. Make sure that there's no air pockets in there, that everything's smooth. Working pretty fast. We're going to do the top and the bottom first. A little bit of glue on the cardboard. Make sure we get the corners real well. And a little bit of glue on the top of that cardboard. We want to pull the paper against the cardboard to make sure that that edge is really straight. And make sure the corners go down just a little bit. I don't know if you can see that against, just a little bit. Okay, this will square up your corners. And the other side too, work fairly quickly. You want your glue to stay a little moist. Corners, the top of the cardboard. Make sure the spine is well coated. Pull down the paper against that edge of the cardboard and pull it down. I'm going to go ahead and bend my cover now to make sure that that stays wet. You want to fold your paper when it's wet so that it doesn't crack. You want to make sure it's nicely folded. I'm going to fold it all the way in half on both sides of the spine. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do both of the ends real fast. A little bit of glue. Same thing, pull that paper against the cardboard. Makes the edge nice and straight. And then when you've got your corner bent in just a little bit, it makes nice square corners without too much hassle. This one came out just a little bit. So while it's still wet, I can kind of poke it in just a little bit and press it down so that it's a nice square corner. Get it to focus. There we go. So I just poked it in just a little bit so that it would be a nice square corner. I'm going to do that. There's a lot of glue on this brush. The other side. Pull against the cardboard. This one corner is coming out just a little bit, so I'm going to poke it in. just a little bit, and then smooth it out. Okay, and I'm going to bend that cover and make sure that those papers are glued to the spine. Poke it down with my bone folder just a little bit, make sure that that glue is gluing that spine paper there to the spine, and make sure that the paper's not cracking. Okay, so that's the outside of your cover. And then we need to do the inside. So a little bit more glue on the inside. Spread it out well, thin. We don't want globs of glue. It will dry as a glob. You'll have little bumps in your cover. Make sure that you've got quite a bit of glue, nice and wet, at the spine. And then put your piece of paper, center it where you want it, and press it down. And make sure that you've got the spine well pressed down. It will usually come up just a little bit. Can you see the wrinkles there? I usually just take my bone folder and go down the crease to make sure that the paper is glued to the cardboard on both sides, and that it's not coming up. It's better to do this on a surface, and that it's not coming up off the cardboard. Make sure that you've got plenty of glue in there so that it will stick. Spot right there. I don't think I got enough glue on, but it will be fine. And then I'm bending it so that it won't rip when it gets dry. Alright, so you can see there's a little bit of bumps there, but it's pretty well secured on the spine. And I let these dry standing up and folded in. I let them dry overnight before I do anything with my covers. And that way I know that they're nice and dry. And that is a little 5 by 3.5 inch cover to add some papers to. Very simple. Thanks for watching.